All right. Okay, welcome with this part of the training. I'm super excited to go through this one. We're going to be talking about connecting. Connecting is the second step in the process that we do in order to build business. The first one was creating your list, and here we have it again. Okay, yeah, the list, connecting, presenting, and follow up. This is the process of our business. So important when you're building any business. Now, the first thing that we have to do is to make sure that we learn how to talk about our story. The reason this part is so important is because many times we don't know what to say first. And when you're telling a story, you're telling your own story, actually is the best way to connect with people. And because you're showing what is happening to you, etc. And this story, the cool thing, by following the steps that I'm going to show you, you can create stories adapted to anything. You can create a 30-second story. You can create a 5-minute story, 3-minute story. And this approach works with everything. Even when you are posting, let's suppose that you are one of those that post on Facebook, you do videos or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. You can use the same format when you are telling your story about what you want to share with people. Well, anyway, a good story must be short, must create curiosity, must have a call to action in it. Let me go really back here. And that's very important. It has to be short. And now the short depends on what you're doing. If you are a person that's presenting in an event, your story could be like 3 minutes long or 5 minutes long. It could be if you want, but not much longer than that. If the story is a video that you want to put on social media, it has to be less than 3 minutes, definitely, because the curiosity or the attention span of people is very, very short. If you are invited to share your story in any event, in a phone call, etc., it's the same thing, 3 minutes or less. Very important. Anyway, and the call to action, you're going to see what I mean anyway. Now, this is a formula. That's the past, present, future, and one more. Why you share, and you are going to be filling in the blanks. You say, fill in the blanks of what? Okay, here, past, before. This is where you were before 3. Like, for example, and I'm going to show some example. I'm not going to go into it yet. And then before 3, I was blank. I didn't have energy, or I didn't have hopes for making more money, etc. The present is today, where I am. Even if you are brand new, you don't have to have a story yet. You can share why you are excited and share somebody else's story. Future, my goal is to, again, earn, retire, vacations, healthier, etc. It's the future. The reason this is so important is because, again, people open up to stories. Fact tells, story sells. It's very powerful. And again, the same process, you can use it with anything. And some of you that follow me, I always using this process when I'm telling stories, especially when stories or when I'm showing something that has to do, could be a product, could be the business, etc. And we're going to have an example. And then this last one, it's interesting. The first 3, you have many speakers and books that teach you to do that, but they forgot the last one. Why share? The reason I'm sharing with you is because, and then their why. The reason is just if you know the person or you ask the person, you know what the why of the person. And we are going to go into a short approach where you are going to find the why of the person. This is really cool. But again, the story is very simple. It's past, present, future, and why you share. And you're going to fill in the blanks. And by the way, like I said, this presentation is going to be in a PDF file for everybody on the Shout and also in other parts. And then a call to action. Let me show you how I'm doing this. So I don't know. Anyway, you interpret my English. Let me invite you to a Zoom link or to a video meeting, etc. The call to action is to invite them to get more information. That's the call to action. Here we have an example with the product. Before 3, I was struggling with energy. I was in discomfort. And let me show you, by the way, an example how it can be a 30-second story. Gosh, before I started using this product, I didn't have energy. I was so much discomfort, but now I have more energy. I feel better than ever. My skin has improved. I feel incredible. And the future is my goal is to become more active, exercising, to do things that I had a hard time before. How long did it took? Less than 30 seconds. Then still, you say the reason I'm sharing. The reason I'm sharing with you is because I know you want to protect and improve your well-being. You want to be healthier. Anything like that. And when you put all this together, you can have what is called the elevator presentation. You can do this in less than 30 or 45 seconds, but it's very short. You can do it for everything, for the business, etc. And this is so important to practice, because the more we do it, the more it's going to be with us. And by the way, the same example can be if you are doing an introduction of yourself, and you can talk a little longer about your past, who you are, etc. Present and say, "Oh, I have so much energy. I'm great. This company has so many tools but you always make it according to the environment that you are going to be. You can have your 30-second story, your 3-minute story, your 5-minute story. You don't have to go longer than that unless you are writing a book. And again, the call to action. This is an example with a product. With a business, before 3, I was struggling about the future. I couldn't see a way to improve my finances. I was in a really bad shape. And today I'm so excited. I made some coaches that guided me to create an e-commerce business that I can work from my home without big investments. And the potential is enormous. It's enormous the way you can do in this. Now, the future is my goal is to become totally financial free and eventually work from home, travel the world if you want to, and get my kids to the best schools, so the best places, etc. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you, because I know you and I have similar goals. Now, you and I together can do very well. Let me invite you to a Zoom. And you will have more details. I had to correct it. As soon as we have more details. As you see, again, I have a 30-second story. But again, you can expand it. Now, I said that you can do this social media too. Let me show you an example of the product. Let's suppose that you are talking about feeling better, more energy. You say, you know what, before I have problems with energy, etc., today I'm using this product. You don't have to use the name of the company. It's better not to use it, or the product. And my goal is to become more active, to exercise, etc. This is a video, YouTube, TikTok, or anything like that, a video of 30 seconds or less. And the reason I'm sharing is because I know some of you that are watching a video know somebody that's struggling with this. If you want to know more, please send me a private message. Wow, that was 30 seconds video. You can make it a little longer, again, if you oops. But this is a great tool. The stories is the most powerful strategy to open up with other people, to tell stories. By the way, you can tell other people's stories. Like, for example, if you are talking to a health professional, you start to say, before, it's interesting, I was struggling with whatever blank, and I showed this to my friend, or I know a health professional that he was struggling giving patients things that were more natural until they found this. And now they're super excited about this. They're giving it to other people, and their goal is to expand their practice using more holistic approach. And the reason I'm sharing this with you, because I know you want to do the same. As a matter of fact, let me invite you to a presentation that we do every Wednesday with different health professionals. You see, you went super quick there too. I love this presentation. Now, this is the second one that I love a lot. But the dreams, this is the very powerful.
George?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't see it. Are you trying to share a screen?
Yeah, or you cannot see it?
No.
Holy cow, that happened before also. That's the second part. Well, the second, no, it happened to us a bit that times. Okay, this is the dream approach. The dream, yeah, by the way, well, I'm not going to go again to this, but I show you here what we were talking about this is the second part, your story approach. I talk about the different steps: before, present, future, and why we share. And then example of the product approach that we just saw, where I was in the past, where I'm today, future, why you share. An example of the business, before, today, where are you going, and why you should share. This is the call, with the call to action. And then this is the dreams approach. This one, the story is so important. We have talked about that in the past. I think we have done a few times this presentation on the stories, but mostly in the power hour. But I want to make sure that it's part of our training. Now, the dreams approach, wow, it's so powerful. I love it because what you do, you put it in into any conversation. This script is effective in almost every situation, whether in person, on the phone, on Facebook, via texting, call market, word market, call market, freezing market. It is truly powerful. This is a way to break the ice when you are talking to people. The story is really powerful to open up yourself. And you can even combine these two. You can combine your story with this one. And this one, it could be the first one, and then the story, your second one, or the other way around, depending how you feel about the person that you're connecting. It is a great way to introduce the business in a very simple way. This is a business script. This is 100% business script. And it's super powerful because you are going to find out more about the person that I'm talking to. Could be a friend or could be a person that you don't know, but you are connecting with that person. And like I said, can be done on social media, via texting, etc. Really powerful. Now, it has several questions. And some of you that know me for years, I've been using this for almost 20 years. As a matter of fact, it's so powerful that many of the leaders that become $1 million earners, some of them claim that this part of the business helped them to create the success to become millionaires. It's so simple. Now, I didn't come up with this. I learned it from actually from a generic training that I did many years ago. I think it was around 2005 or 2003. It got me so excited. First of all, the person was using it against me, or the trainers, or against us. When I mean against us, to find out more about us. If time and money were no issues and you had the energy to enjoy them, what would you do? What would you do? What would you buy? Where would you live? Who would you help? What else? This is super powerful because you want to know more about the other person. This is a way that you can work with your friends or a person, again, that you met and you are doing contacts with social media. This is really powerful through social media, by the way. When you connect with a person for the first time, you find more about the person, and then you say, oh, by the way, if time and money were no issues and you had the energy to enjoy them, what would you do? What would you buy? Where would you live? Who would you help? What else? If the person is shy or cannot come up with anything, you help them. There are some people that you ask, and come on, they talk for an hour because they're so excited. Oh, I would do this, I would do that, I travel, etc., 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 etc. Now, then the next question, and by the way, these questions actually are used in a technology called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, when they are talking to patients or clients. And the reason is because you want to know more about the person. You want the person to get excited, but you want the person to also go down to reality. Why? Okay, you're going to see it. Doing what you're doing now, how long will it take you to do it? The reason this is so important because in NLP arena, neuro-linguistic programming, is because you're talking to a patient or a client, and then you have to say, okay, all right, what you are doing now, how long is it going to take you to do all the stuff? Most people, and when I say most people, probably, who knows, probably 99%, they don't have a clue. And then you notice it in the body language, the face, etc. The person said, wow, I don't know. How does that make you feel? If you could find a way to earn more money and have more time, plus have the energy to enjoy them, Will you be open to learn more? You see, if we don't do that exercise in the middle, saying, doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you to do those things? But we just go from the person saying, oh, yeah, I want to travel, etc. Now, if I show you a way that you can do all that stuff, yeah, many people are going to say, yeah, I want to. But they have not confronted with the reality that with what they are doing right now, they cannot reach it. They have to make a change. And that's why we have that in the middle. Will you open? You would be open to learn more. Will you be open to learn more? And most people are going to say yes. If you don't use that, the question before that is in the middle, what's going to happen is that some people are not going to have the urgency because they don't realize where they are right now. Okay, let me finish this one. Again, we have now tools. We have, before we had the dreams tools, and now we have the, excuse me, this is the dream tools, and you have your story. You see, you can combine it because at this point you can tell your story. Let me tell you, before I didn't have any dreams or my job. I had my job. I was working many hours a week, and I found this, and now have the belief that I can do better. As a matter of fact, I'm getting paid already, working from my home in this e-commerce business. And I can see in the future, again, the future, enjoying more time with my family, traveling all over the place, buying the house that I want to buy, or live whatever I want to buy. You see, this is a great complement with a story. And you combine these two, you are creating even more connection with the person, way more connection. And the reason I like this part is because you're interacting with the person. That the person, the one that's talking the most, the person is telling you, and telling you. Okay, the next one, fast action, text and calls. This is what is going to get you really quick into the business, doing text and calls. And this is basically something using combination with your different ways to connect with people. And the reason text and calls is because you can create a lot of momentum. We are going to go into that. Now, this is an effective way to contact 20 to 30 people in just a couple of hours a day. Now, I know some people that are watching this is going to jump and say, come on, I don't even connect with 2 people a day. Well, when you do it right, you can go in a couple of hours, you can go through people really, really quick. Now, the plan is to text, get on the phone and invite and get people on the phone quickly. Now, voice text is more powerful than just texting. That's why I highlight that, voice. This is a really powerful tool, especially if we are in places that we cannot talk right away. We can start with a text. Now, the goal is to put the person in the phone. However, you can use some of the scripts, or you can, for example, go through your story. If you, for some reason, you don't know that person, for example, you are in social media, you're telling your story, you're asking for the dreams. You see, this can combine tremendously. You can do the whole thing over text or messages, but it's better if you send an initial text, then you call. But you are not limited just to the telephone call. And by the way, if you have some people in Facebook that you connect in Facebook and they feel uncomfortable giving you their phone number, guess what? Through Facebook, you can call them. They say, okay, let me call you over Facebook, and you can talk to them. You can do even a video conference over Facebook. That's one of the powerful, I would say, parts of Facebook. Now, step 1, texting. Hey, I have to talk to you. When would be a good time to sit down and have a cup of coffee? Or is it okay if we talk now? I say a cup of coffee, the person obviously live in your area. This is another way. Your name keep coming to me. I want to talk to you. When can I call you? Or the third one, and that happened to many of us, especially we have names of people that we have not connected in years. I have not talked to you in ages, but your name keep popping in my head. When is a good time to talk? I forgot the part to talk, but anyway. Oh, the talk, huh? I had to fix it. Hey, Mike, I found a way where you and I can make a fortune. Can I call you now? You see, this is with close friends and people that are friends probably for years, and I love to use this one. Can I call you now? You see, a way where you and I can make a fortune. That sounds great, by the way, because it sounds not that you are selling something, you are looking for a partner. I have to tell you what happened to me. Okay, if somebody sends you a text that say, I have to tell you what happened to me, what do you do? It's a headline. It's very powerful. Choose one of the about text. It's not like you're going to send these five. Here is an example. You show five, and you can even have a very strong line. But the idea, again, is to get people over the phone. But again, if you can't, for some reason, you can do the whole process, messaging, especially chatting online. Okay, that's step one. You text the person. Step two, calling. These scripts, by the way, are based in Eric's Worry training. Hey, I'm running out of the door, but I need to talk to you really quick. Do you have a second? Great, listen, you have always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. You see, that's an approach. Remember, you had this story already, your story that you can add there to start connecting with the person, or you can talk about the dreams, or you just follow this part. This is to go really quick. This is a second one. For as long as I have known you, I thought you were the best at what you do. I think I have found a way for us to really boost our cash flow. That's a cool one too. I always admire you because you desire to always to do the best for you and your family. I found a way where you and I can earn a fortune. Now, people say, whoa, I cannot say that. Yes, you can, especially when people are close to you that you know how they are financially. I have just started a new business. I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice. This is really cool when you are telling people, hey, I'm doing 7 practices. Okay, sorry, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practice on you? Most people are going to say, yeah, sure. Again, this is the calling. We saw the texting, the calling. And by the way, again, you can do this also just the calling. You choose one of the about texts. I have to add that because in the past, in the platform that I was before, some people were using 3 or 4 at the same time. No, you use only one. The invitation. If I invite you to not add, let's suppose 7:30 to a 25-minute call, and Zoom, I don't know why I have added that twice, but assume that they explain everything. Will you listen to it? Even if it's not for you, it is okay. Or I have to correct that one, by the way. If I invite you to not add to a practice 25-minute Zoom call, I don't know, I have those twice the training. I don't know what happened there. Well, anyway, you got the idea. Will you watch it? This is really cool because this is, again, go with the 7 practice. I'm going to correct this, and then you're going to have the corrected form when you get the links. If I send you a link to a website, will you watch it? At what time? It's kind of here you are committing the person. But again, it's very simple. Just overlook the misspelling. I'm going to fix that. Choose one of the about texts. Again, you don't use the 3 of them, just one, the one that you feel more comfortable with. Or you can come up with yours, but as you see, these are short. The idea is to go really quick. Yeah, you go through the text, you go on the phone, or again, you keep doing text, and then you do invitation. It's super quick. Set the commitment, very important. It's okay if I call you or text message you at 3 p.m. to remind you about the call or about the Zoom. That's one. So if I call you after the call, will you be able to talk? Or again, or after the meeting, after the call, whatever you're sending the person. Fantastic, great, we'll talk then. Gotta run, thanks. You see, this is not several texts. It's only one, is why I have the numbers. After the person says, let's suppose that is going to be in the Zoom, he says, it's okay if I call you or text message you at 6:45 to remind you about the call or about the Zoom or about the meeting, and whatever you are talking to people about. So if I call you after the call, will you be able to talk? I probably about 8:30, the call, let's suppose that it's 8 o'clock, and you say 8:30 or 8:45 or whatever. Fantastic, great, we'll talk then. Gotta run, thanks. Why do you say gotta run, thanks? Because you don't want to get stuck in the call. You are in a mission. The whole thing, by the way, can take just about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes the most. That's why you can connect with so many people. You can do it even in seconds. This is when you're setting the commitment. Okay, let me go back because this is important. Okay, so far, this is what you have seen. First, if you saw how to create your story, that's an approach. How to talk about the dreams, that's another approach. Now we are talking about this, how to get really cool. And the last one, I'm super excited, Smart Yarnell's 7-figure plan of action. And for this, I'm going to do something cool, especially. Let me get out of here first, because a couple of you may have seen this. Actually, this is on the channel, in our channel, Legacy Maker channel. I'm super excited to show that. This is about 10 minutes, and then we close. All right, let me, okay, share. Okay, let me go to the channel. Okay. All right. And it's at the bottom, Power Network Marketing, 10 minutes, 24 seconds. You had to tell me, by the way, if you hear something, because I want to make sure.
2 hours a day, professional relationship building.
Do you hear anything? If somebody can tell me.
Yes.
Oh, you heard the recording of the voice? No, my voice. This voice?
Yes.
Listen to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Good.
Listen carefully, but this is something that I recommend you to watch again and again and again. I'm one of those that have watched it maybe even 100 times. I don't know, but I watched it so many times. Okay. Listen to this. Maybe take notes unless you're going to do it again. I recommend this.
2 hours a day, professional relationship building. Now, listen to me very careful. This is very, very important. I know no exceptions to this. Again, now we're talking about getting to $100,000 a month, and we're talking about doing that in 12 months. So you know it's not going to be easy. You have got to work 2 hours a day in professional relationship building. Now, what I mean by that? What I mean is, out of 24 hours, you do whatever you want with 22 of them. What I want you to do is I want you to realize that you're only paid to do 2 things in network marketing. Now, you may be in a different company. You may be in something brand new I've never heard of from, Bangladesh or Zimbabwe or some obscure third world country that's just launched a new MLM model I don't even know about. But as far as I know, network marketing pays you to do 2 things. 1, recruit. 2, retail. That's it. Period. End of the story. Now, listen to me carefully. 2 hours a day, that means you got to be into professional relationship building. Now, what do I mean by professional? What I mean is, well, let me make it so that it doesn't appear to be a disparaging comment. When Tiger Woods was the last year he was an amateur, Tiger Woods didn't make anything. The first year he turned pro, he made $18 million. Now the question is, what was the difference? He went to the driving ranges often. He actually played in one less tournament his first pro year than he did his last amateur year. He didn't make anything as an amateur, but he made $18 million the first year he turned pro. What's the difference? He was professional. He was playing in pro tournaments. Now, if the difference between an amateur and a professional is, an amateur doesn't get paid, a professional does. Now, use a little common sense here. If network marketing pays you to do 2 things, only 2, recruit and retail a product or service, then anything else is amateur. That doesn't mean in a disparaging way that you're some kind of amateur. I don't mean it's not a put down. It's just that amateurs don't get paid. So here's what I know. If Mark Yarnell is watching Oprah, he's an amateur. If Mark Yarnell is surfing the net, looking at other deals, he's an amateur. If Mark Yarnell is playing pool, he's an amateur. If Mark Yarnell is recruiting or retailing, he's a professional. So listen to me carefully. You want to get to the big, big, big money? Number 3, work 2 hours a day as a professional relationship builder. In other words, do your very best to communicate in some manner with prospects, either for your opportunity or the product or service you're selling at least 2 hours a day. Now, you decide how you want to do it. You know, there are a lot of people on this call who are very, very exceptional at technology communication. They can build professional relationships using the Internet. Great. 2 hours a day. Don't be jacking around doing anything else online. Don't be tweeting and Twittering and Facebooking and all that stuff. You got 22 hours to get into your social network and talk about, you know, who did what last weekend at the big party. 2 hours a day, you need to get involved in professional relationship building online. If you use the phone, 2 hours a day, you need to be calling other human beings in another location and talking to them about your opportunity or your product or your service. If you do meetings, 2 hours a day, you better be doing it. If you go walk around and talk to people and hand out DVDs, you better go walking around 2 hours a day. Here's all I'm asking you to do. 2 hours a day, professional relationship building. Use whatever vehicle you want. Doesn't matter. But during those 2 hours, you're focused on only two things, recruiting and retailing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully. That's all you're paid to do. That's all you're paid to do. You're not paid to listen to whining downline people. You're not paid to try to drag losers across the finish line. You're not paid to talk to your upline. You're not paid to sit and listen to CDs about how to build the business. You're not paid to watch, you know, surf the net and look for new deals in prospecting. You are paid to recruit and retail. Please do that 2 hours a day if you want to get to $100,000 a month. And the good news is you only got to do that 5 days a week. And that brings me to point 4. You have to decide to get to $100,000 a month whether you're going to follow a 1, a 2, or a 3-year plan. Now, here's the difference. It's all just a numbers game. It sounds easy rolling off my tongue, but it's very hard work. I mean, listen to me carefully. If you're going to do $100,000 a month in most companies in 1 year, you're going to have to talk to 30 people a day, 5 days a week. We'll just call it a 20-day month. If you're going to do it in 2 years, you're going to have to build professional relationships with 20 people a day in some capacity. And if you want to do it in 3 years, you're going to have to do 10 a day. There is no substitute. You can't go down to 5 a day and do it in 4 years. That isn't going to work. It's the law of diminishing returns. So let's pretend for a moment that you want to get to $100,000 a month and you want to do that in 1 year. That means 2 hours a day, your objective is to do everything in your power 20 days a month to talk to 30 people. Now, people say, Yarnell, 30 people a day? That's impossible. How would I do that? Well, I'm going to get to that in a moment. But basically, all you're doing is driving people to information. You know, there are several steps in this industry. The first one is exposure. You don't want to sell them the farm in the very first conversation. And I'll get to that in a minute when I get to point 5. But in point 4, you got to remember, if you want to get to $100,000 a month, you got to talk to 30 people a day, 20 days a month, and I'm going to give you worst case scenario. That's 600 people. Let's assume 95% of them just don't do squat. They don't sign up. They don't use your service. They don't use your product. That's worst case scenario. In today's world, you've got 80 million baby boomers who are broke and hooped, and you've got 85 million Generation Yers who have no idea what to do except run around on skateboards with backwards ball caps. They're starving to death. They're wanting a job. They're wanting a profession. There's never been a higher percentage of young, aggressive people who deserve to prosper and old, tired people who've played by the rules and wound up with no 401k in the history of planet Earth. It's never happened in the richest country in the world. So you want to talk to 30 of them a day. You want to drive them to the information, maybe spend 2 minutes at the most with 30 people. I can talk to 30 people in 2 hours if I waste time with several of them. So on a 20-day month, that's 600 people. If 570 of them, which 95%, don't do anything, I can promise you 30 of them will. Now, not all of them will become distributors. Some of them will just want your product or they'll just want your service. But a lot of them will become distributors. Now, let's go again. Worst case scenario. That means at the end of a month, you've got 30 people by talking to 600. 570 didn't do anything. Now most of you are going to do better than that. I'm giving you worst case scenario to be fair here. Out of that 30, let's say 29 of them quit. What that means is, if you do that for 12 months, at the end of the year, you've got 12 frontline winners. It is impossible, or if you're in a binary, 12 winners anywhere. I don't care where you put them. Here's the point. If 6 of them quit, I've never seen a company with 6 monsters and great networkers busting it where you'd make under $120,000 a month. I've never seen one. Now, I'm sure there are some comp plans that don't reward you effectively, but on a normal 45 to 55% payout with reasonable levels or reasonable balancing of 2 legs, whatever the pay plan, if you've got 6 monster distributors in your organization, it's impossible not to earn that kind of money. But notice what we're talking about here, and I'm keeping it very, very realistic. You're busting your chops. You're talking to 600 people a month. 95% of them aren't doing anything. Of those who do, 29 out of 30 are quitting. And out of the 12 winners you get, 6 of them quit. You're still at $100,000 a month. Folks, you can challenge me all you want. I've never have I seen the opportunity presented to me where a person couldn't do that with 6 winners anywhere in their organization. So that's number 4. You've got to pick a 1, 2, or 3-year plan. If you want to get to $100,000 a month in 3 years, talk to 10 people a day, 20 days a month. You want to do it in 2, talk to 20. You want to do it in 1, talk to 30. Now, remember what I said earlier. It sounds real easy rolling off my tongue. I'm going to be real straight up with you. It isn't easy. It's the hardest work you'll ever do. I'm telling you, it is not easy to get on the phone or on the internet or out in the community and have the courage to literally approach and introduce and expose 30 people a day to this business. If you think it is, just go try it. It all depends on how much money you want to make and how hard you're willing to work.
Okay, let's see. All right. This is this guy was my first coach years ago. And they used to call him the greatest networker in the world because he was really basic, but he was connecting with people. By the way, that doesn't mean 20 presentations a day. That means 20 contacts a day and or 30 contacts a day. And at the time, this was in 1992. He didn't have the internet. He didn't have all the stuff. He was going to gas station with a bunch of cards and connecting with people face to face. He was going to every place where there was a lot of people. He got with a megaphone motivating his distributors at night, calling to their house. He said, "We are going to be rich." Craig Bryson tell the story. Not Craig Bryson. Pilson tells the story. I met him too. He was one of his multi-million-dollar leaders. He was a police officer. I imagine come at night with a megaphone talking. But anyway, that video, I would make sure that you watch it. Actually, let me share really quick to close. I didn't do that. Okay. All right. It's just I get excited every time I hear this guy talking. Okay, here is the plan. Connect 10 to 30 people per day, 5 days a week. Allocate 1 to 2 hours a day, depending on where you want to be. Focus only on inviting people. Direct people to a presentation. That's what he said, very important. All that you need to know is direct people to the information. You don't have to even do the presentation. You don't feel comfortable. And of course, you follow up. Now, we have a social media conversation, and we are going to talk. I'm going to have a recording talking more about that, but because I don't want to keep you much longer here. But actually, I can go through that because it's really quick. Okay. These are scripts that you can also use outside social media. And by the way, all the scripts that we talk about can use also. When somebody likes, comment, or share your post, you always say thank you. Like a comment, excuse me, let me start all over again. My name is George. Thank you for liking, commenting, or share my post. That's it. Why do you like it? What do you like on the post? If you know the person, start a conversation using Form or the Dreams or any of the other tools that we have. By the form, we didn't go through that, but there's one of the links that we have in Shout. Is family, talking about their family, occupation, recreation, what they do for fun, message, tell your story on 3. And remember how to tell a story? Yeah. When somebody likes, comment, and share your post again, If you don't know the person, the same thing. Family, before is if you know the person. You see? And tell your story. What to post? Nothing controversial, politics, religion, etc., because you can create a lot of feelings that you don't want to get through that, energies that are not the one. Just inspirational messages, lifestyle, something to learn. And something that you learn, excuse me. For example, you learn something new, and doesn't have to be with business or anything like that. You learn something, how to clean something, that some kind of spot that you can't get rid of it, just post it. Make it in a video too. You can make it in a video, and the video can be short. Short videos less than 3 minutes are very powerful. Where to post? Stories, shorts, etc. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can use any of these. Or more, because there are also other, these are the main ones. I don't think I'm missing one here. Okay. Now, we will be doing deeper trainings on social media in the future. This is just an overview, but where I just told you already how to share your story, how to ask for people their dreams, etc. You are very well equipped to do all these things. Okay, all right. Now let me get out of here. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording and then I'm gonna ask